My name's Frank Lyons. I'm a 30-year law enforcement veteran. I currently do consulting for law enforcement in the liquor industry in regards to complying with the Maine liquor laws, as well as enforcing those laws. I've been asked to come here today to discuss some primary liquor laws that affect all of us in our communities, dealing with underage drinking as well as furnishing alcohol and a place to those individuals to consume. What I'm going to do is kind of keep it fairly simple. We're going to go down through some of the basic laws, discuss some of the issues around those laws, some of the consequences as far as the laws are concerned, but also some of the residual issues that come about by virtue of violations of those laws. We'll start off with the civil possession of liquor as well as civil consumption, illegal transportation, then we'll go into furnishing liquor to minors, furnishing liquor to visibly intoxicated individuals, and we're going to finish off with something that more often than not most families don't consider when they engage in party behavior, and that's the Maine Liquor Liability Act. Most people are familiar with it being called the dram shop. With that, if you're not concerned about the law, you should be concerned about that. Whereas if you do host a party and it does get out of hand, you very well could lose pretty much everything you own. So with that said, why don't we start off with possession, what it is and what it isn't. Illegal possession by a minor is possession of alcohol by anybody under the age of 21 years of age. Possession, by definition, is proximity and control. Even though you may be at a party and you may not be consuming, if you can reach out and touch it, you're in possession of that alcohol. That's important because when law enforcement gets called to disrupt a party, that's what they're going to be looking for. And if you happen to be the innocent one standing there behind the bottle of beer, you're the one they're going to be dealing with, primarily not to be hardliners, but to be able to deal with that effectively and to ensure that that party doesn't reoccur. Civil possession of alcohol has some basic consequences. Mandatory fines if you're 20, 19, or 18 years of age. The first offense runs between $200 and $400. Second offense is $300 to $600. And the third and subsequent offense is a mandatory $600 fine for possession of that one bottle of beer. If you're 17 years of age and younger, it's actually a juvenile crime, and as much as it's a non-arrestable juvenile crime, it's handled a little differently. You'll be going through the juvenile criminal justice system. There they can actually have you doing community service, they can have you doing any number of different activities, as well as having to involve your parents. So civil possession basically is something that it happens frequently. More often than not, it's going to be with young people that are thinking they're doing something totally innocent, when in fact it could actually be a finable offense, and frankly it's what the local law enforcement is going to look for if they have to engage in a party environment. Consumption of liquor by a minor occurs when you have an individual that's consuming alcohol outside the parameter of a home in the presence of their parent or legal guardian. The only time an individual can legally possess alcohol is within the scope of their employment or in a home in the presence of a parent or legal guardian. Likewise, with consumption, the only place that an individual under 21 can consume legally is in a home in the presence of a parent or legal guardian. Any other kind of scenario you want to come up with is going to be a violation of law if it's outside the parameter of that exclusion. Consumption carries the same consequences as far as penalties. Civil violation is going to be a minimum mandatory fines depending on the sequence of series of events, as well as possibly community service. Illegal transportation of liquor occurs when an individual under 21 years of age actually transports alcohol outside of two exceptions: within the scope of their employment, if it's a bona fide job that requires you to transport alcohol, or if they're transporting alcohol at the request of a parent or legal guardian. Any other scenario, you're transporting alcohol, and if you're under 21 years of age, it is a violation of Maine state law. That violation actually has mandatory penalties. First offense is a 30-day license suspension, second offense is a 90-day license suspension, and the third and subsequent offense is going to be a year suspension. Also, many times the individual transporting or operating on a provisional license, so subsequently it's going to be an automatic one-year suspension as well. These violations occur a lot of times with very well-meaning individuals thinking that they're doing the right thing. They're at a party, they're not drinking, they want to be responsible, and they offer rides home to those individuals that have been consuming. They're the designated driver. The problem is if they're under 21 years of age and they're transporting alcohol and the individual that they're transporting it with is underage, it is a crime, as well as the transportation is outside of the exceptions and subsequently is a violation of law and you will have your license suspended. The best news there is if you're transporting individuals with alcohol, have them dump it out, get rid of it before they get into the vehicle. Illegal transportation is another problem. In the event that you do get convicted of it, the consequences run a little deeper in so much as that it is an alcohol-related motor vehicle violation, and you can expect some subsequently high insurance rates after that as well upon conviction. Last but not least is the furnishing statute. The furnishing statute is something that a lot of parents don't take into consideration when they feel that they'd like to sponsor a party, host that party because they're going to be able to keep kids in a safe environment. Historically, that hasn't proven to always be the case. It's not well mentioned the fact that there is issues as far as violations of law there. The penalty for furnishing liquor to a minor or allowing a minor to consume on a premise under your control is up to a $2,000 fine as well as a year in jail. The other law we want to talk about today is furnishing liquor to a visibly intoxicated person. That violation comes into play pretty much at any party where an individual has been furnished alcohol and becomes visibly intoxicated, regardless of what their age is. It's the same section of law that deals with furnishing liquor to a minor. The penalty is the same. It can be up to a $2,000 fine, up to a year in jail, and it's something that one has to consider before they host a party for those individuals that are underage, or for that matter, those that are legal. One consideration that you need to have when you're hosting these parties as well, when they go awry, and they do go south from time to time, and individuals all of a sudden find themselves either in a motor vehicle accident, being assaulted, sexually assaulted, finding themselves in a scenario where there's a serious violation of law besides the furnishing case. If you have an individual at your party, be it a minor or somebody that is visibly intoxicated, and they leave, you'd be subject to the Maine Liquor Liability Act, for which you can be sued for up to $350,000, as well as medical expenses, which could incur millions of dollars in the course of a lifetime. At the end of the day, these violations, one, don't need to occur, and if they do occur, they could be kept at a level so that they don't have to have the dynamic consequences that we're just talking about. As far as the Maine liquor laws are concerned, if you choose to violate them, it is your choice. Understand that there's consequences in the event that you get caught. One of those consequences shouldn't be life-threatening. It shouldn't be life-altering. The consequence shouldn't be not losing somebody that you care about, somebody that you're responsible for. If you choose to have that party, be mindful of the fact you're responsible. Take care of one another. Take care of those individuals that may drink to excess. Don't let them operate a motor vehicle. Don't let that young lady be left behind where she can be assaulted and have these life-altering events happen to those individuals that if somebody had just cared enough or had the courage to engage, either by calling a family member, calling the police, calling EMS, or just something as simple as staying behind to make sure that they were well until they sobered up and could take care of themselves. That's about all we have to offer today. We certainly hope that you got good information. You'll make good decisions from it. Thank you for your time.